Chapter 12. A Crack in the Frame. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 17, verse 17. Ruthie stood in the main house kitchen, gently drying dishes while James sat at the table nearby, hunched over a stack of invoices from the week's stock sales. The room was warm and lived in, filled with the comforting sense of fresh coffee, toasted bread, and a hint of wood smoke drifting in from the fireplace. Bear lay sprawled under the table, tail flicking lazily, eyes sharp and hopeful, ever watchful for a wayward crumb. A sharp, rapid-fire knock rattled the front door, confident and impatient, as if whoever was out there believed the house belonged to them. Bear shot up, tail wagging in great hopeful sweeps. James gave Ruthie a crooked smile, equal parts warning and amusement.
"Brace yourself, Ruthie."
James said, glancing toward the window.
"That's not the postie. I think Mike has found his way over."
Ruthie dried her hands on a tea towel as James walked to the door. When he pulled it open, the air filled with a distinct energy. A tall man, with a wild mop of hair and a smile that looked like it had gotten him out of more trouble than into it.
"About time, mate. I thought you'd moved out to the back paddock for good, since you haven't replied to any of my messages."
James's face shifted to mock sternness.
"What are you doing here, Micah?"
Micah didn't miss a beat.
"I talked to Naomi. Heard I made a right mess of things last week."
He glanced at Ruthie, then back at James, sheepish but grinning.
"I'm sorry for the other day. You know what I'm like, never know when to take a hint."
Micah held up his hands, then winked at Ruthie.
"Come on, mate, let me in. I brought peace offerings."
James rolled his eyes, but there was fondness in it.
"All right, but don't be yourself, okay?"
His voice was half joke, half warning. He turned to Ruthie.
"Don't worry, Ruthie. He's really only here for the food."
"Guilty as charged,
Micah said cheerfully, rummaging in his coat pockets.
but I come bearing gifts. Some of Margaret's jam drops, and, believe it or not, the council paperwork you've dodged for a month, James."
He dumped a folder and a container on the table, then immediately snagged a chocolate biscuit on the table. Bear sniffed at Micah's boots, tail thumping with approval. Micah bent to ruffle Bear's ears.
"Hey, mate. You missed me?"
James and Micah fell into easy banter, tossing insults and laughter back and forth about camping disasters, footy teams, and who could brew the best cup of coffee. Ruthie watched, surprised to see James so animated, more relaxed, more himself than she'd ever seen him. She smiled too, the mood infectious.
"Fancy a game of cards while the old man here pretends to work?"
Micah asked, producing a battered deck from his pocket with a magician's flair. James looked up from the paperwork and smirked.
"Who is the old man, Micah?"
James said with a grin on his face.
"You'll be turning 30 well before me. Oh, and Micah,
He added with a perfectly straight face.
try being nice for once. She doesn't know you cheat yet."
Micah grinned, unfazed.
"Come on, mate. I only cheat when I'm losing, you know that."
They gathered around the table, laughter already stirring as Bear curled up contentedly at Ruthie's feet. Micah wasted no time launching into a dramatic retelling of James's infamous fishing disaster, how he'd fallen in twice, caught nothing, and managed to lose Micah's favorite lure in the process. James, unbothered, fired back with equal flair, recounting Micah's ill-fated homebrew experiment that had left him with the worst hangover of his life, and a vow never to trust Micah's fermentation methods again. Midway through the next round, James stood up and stretched.
"Back in a sec. I left the plans I need for this paperwork out in the shed."
James said, heading for the front door. As he walked out, Micah leaned slightly toward Ruthie, his tone softening just a touch.
"Been knocking around with James for, what, 7 years now. Bloke's one of the best there is. Solid as they come.
Ruthie looked at him, curiosity piqued.
He's pulled me out of more scrapes than I care to admit. Never asked for a thing. Just shows up, solid as a brick wall. Doesn't yap on about it either."
She nodded slowly, listening. At that point, Micah's grin slipped just a touch.
But he's different since Ellie. Bit shut off, you know? Still bends over backwards for everyone else, but won't let anyone do the same for him. He cares for so many people, but hell, he's rubbish at being looked after.
Before Ruthie could respond, the door creaked open and James returned, giving Micah a sideways look.
What lies are you filling her head with now?
He asked, voice light but knowing.
Just telling her the truth for once, mate.
Micah replied, grinning. James rolled his eyes and flopped back into his chair. For a while, Ruthie simply listened again, the laughter smoothing the rough edges inside her. Every joke, every friendly jab, eased her guard a little further. For the first time in a long time, the world felt a little less broken and a little more possible. When the paperwork was signed and the cards finally put away, Micah stretched and grinned.
All right, you two behave. Ruthie, don't let him talk you into thinking he's some gourmet chef. I tried to teach him, but there's only so much one can do.
James groaned.
You're such a liar.
Micah tipped an imaginary hat to Ruthie.
Don't let this bloke scare you off.
With a final wave, he bounded out to his dusty truck, whistling off-key. James watched him go, a genuine smile lingering at the corner of his mouth, a rare crack in the frame. And in that quiet moment, Ruthie realized that healing didn't always arrive all at once. Sometimes it tiptoed in through laughter.
Thank you for listening to this chapter of Healing on the Land. If this story has touched your heart, I'd love for you to come join me for the next chapter. You can find it here on this channel. If you'd like to support more Christian storytelling, you can purchase the full book or make a donation using the link in the description. Your support, no matter the size, helps us to continue writing stories of faith, healing, and hope. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. May God bless you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.